Good afternoon. This is Catherine calling the Trails Committee meeting to order on November 28th at 7:34 p.m. I'll do a roll call. Let me know that you're here. Will Warren,
Here.
Satyendra Sharma,
Here.
and Kat McKee here. Okay, so let's see. I circulated. Thank you so much, Sati, for sharing the minutes and drafting those. Have you? I can't pull them up because I can't share my screen.
You want me to do that? Okay, I can do that.
Let me just see if I can, because maybe that functionality is working. Hold on. All right, I'm going to share. Oh, yeah, that's going to work, I think. Okay, are you seeing?
Nice, yes.
Okay, wonderful. So this is our minutes. I'm just going to make it a little larger. Oh, it's my bit defender. Oh,
Now you will be able to see you. Huh?
maybe.
Allow
Bit
access.
defender blocks Zoom application from gaming. Allow access, people. All right, let's focus. Sorry. So let's go through the minutes and let me know when I can scroll down. Oh, I'm gonna delete this space.
Okay.
Good.
Will is slow reader.
Okay. Will, how are you doing over there?
It's fine.
Okay,
It's good.
I'm gonna scroll down to here. How we doing?
Fine.
Okay. And page 2.
Good.
Okay. Great. So if there are no other changes, can someone make a motion to approve the minutes from 11/14/2023?
I move to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Thank you very much. And all in favor, Will Warren,
Aye.
Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Pat McKee. Yes, motion passes. Thank you very much for your time there. Okay.
Now, Kat, since you said you had some exciting news, I put on socks so you could blow them off, okay?
Okay.
I don't usually wear socks, so.
So very, I was hoping that I can't believe that I can't share screens on this very exciting day, so you can see my smiling face. But no, so reached out to community engineering partners and asked if they had an update. And our contact initially that we had been working with, Leah Clark, is no longer there. So she provided in her out of office or transition email someone else. So I reached out to Molly Sullivan. And Molly said, I'm looping in my colleague Ellie from, she's the staff that is currently leading the Southborough Civil Project. Ellie's in the process of recruiting a project team to take on Community's project. She can provide you with additional information and answer any questions. So then she said, we've made some progress on a partner who is interested in providing both geotechnical support for free and potentially a full team for the design of the pedestrian walking path. I'm hoping to get them on a call next week to solidify their involvement and capacity. And I'd like to confirm with you if there's any new updates or information we could share about the project or application before confirming needs with a project team. If you need a copy of the application, let me know. If not, if there are no changes or updates, I'll proceed with the information as received. So I just let her know that thank you. We were very happy to hear this. We're excited to get started, and that there have been no changes, but that I thought it would probably make sense for us to connect in the next couple of days because, I can answer and be available to answer any questions. I just want to make sure that, they're fully aware that we've described the project in the way that is adequate for them to assess the needs of the project, to make sure we're all on the same page. So this is a wonderful success. Thank you, Sati, for finding this opportunity and really following through with that. It was a long shot, and we were at the end of our, where we needed to really make a decision. So I will say, we have to just make sure that everything is still in the up and up, and
Yeah.
we get excited that this was successful. But we still need the timing to work out, and we still need to get over a few challenges. So we'll approach this realistically, and it may be that they can do some of the work, not all of the work. So we'll need to figure those details out. But let's just take this moment and be very excited about this was a yes and a win. So even if things don't work out perfectly as we had hoped, this was a huge step in the right direction. So thank you, Sati.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. And so whatever information she provides us, we'll need to adapt our CPA application. This will be kind of the tricky piece, which is I don't know how to adapt the CPA application to be flexible enough if we did need some funding for engineering. So we'll need to reach out to CPA, maybe even before our next meeting with them, which we don't have yet on the books, to see if they have a recommendation on how to approach it. I know we need to be firm with our numbers, so that's what I'll start talking with Community Engineering Corps about whether, they can do a full scope, or should we still reserve some funding for some of the scope, that kind of stuff. Because I don't want to miss out on the CPA cycle, because what could happen is if, for example, the engineering corps comes through and they're like, oh, we can take it to this point. And then we're left with, say, $40,000 that we need, or $20,000. That's the kind of thing I'm going to try to be proactive about, so that we're on the same page and are positioning ourselves with CPA in the right way.
Yep.
Yep. When would they actually do something?
Well, that's the call. That's what I'd
Yeah.
like to find out, right? Because even though I'm very excited and would say, yay, but if they can't get started until March or April, we might be in trouble, right?
Why?
So that's where we might have to say, okay, well, that puts all of the money in jeopardy. So
When is the money?
by the end of next year, it needs to be encumbered. So
Oh.
again, we'll talk to them, then we'll figure things out on our end and see what we need to do.
So it's both a question of start date and speed of work.
Start date, speed, scope. Yep.
Okay.
And then, we need to kind of think about permitting. We need a notice of intent from Southborough. We need a notice of intent from Framingham. So what work can we do on our end to get balls moving in a way that will help keep this going with the holidays coming up in front of us?
One question would be, when you talk to them, are there any intermediate milestones that we can track? I mean, suppose they're going to start in January,
Yeah.
Or whenever, right? Can we get some intermediate milestones just to see if they're making the progress as fast as they thought?
Well, you mean set intermediate milestones, like we should be able to do this by X date, they by this date, that them by, and another by that date? Is that what you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And I think so. That's a perfect question. And thanks for bringing it up, Will.
Mm.
I don't know. We might not get that next week, right? So, but that is, I think, an important, we should convey to them our constraints with the project timeline, to make sure that, because sometimes pro bono projects might get pushed back because of the other priority projects in a company's world. Totally understand that. So I'll be scoping that world out too, so that we can make sure it all works together. Any other good questions, Will?
I guess, do they need any money from us, like for travel costs or anything?
Yeah.
They do.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm writing it down.
Okay.
That will-
And I guess, are they counting on us to provide any type of insurance?
Yep.
Or do they need any special permits to do what they do that we may not necessarily
Yes, they
think?
will. They will
Okay,
need permits. Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
And we'll need to inform MWA, the city of Framingham, town of Southborough, Mark Purple, legal, recreation, Tim Davis, you name it. They'll all be in the know.
okay.
And we'll be working to make sure that, and I'm curious where the partner's located, because I think it sounded like they reach out to local partners in order to
Yeah.
make a local project work, right? Because it wouldn't make sense for them to bring in an engineering firm from Colorado that would be far from the project, right? So yeah, I don't know if they're working with any of the vendors that we receive quotes from. I'm not quite sure how this works. So we'll learn a lot. I'll keep you posted on the meeting dates. If anyone can join, you'll always be invited.
Okay, another question that arose would be, is there any quality metrics that we need to make certain they meet with inspections or consultation of someone else?
You need a little more specific. I mean,
Well,
the answer
okay,
is-
they're gonna be doing stuff. I'm not exactly sure what stuff they're gonna do.
yeah,
But if it turns out if it turns out that the stuff that they deliver is not of suitable quality, we need to know that. And it also, if the stuff that they're going to deliver, if it's stuff that needs to be audited by someone else, should we make arrangements to that?
yep. I understand that. I'm just trying to think, audited by someone else. So
Someone who's going to say, yep, these guys know what they're doing, and this is a goodly thing that they've done, and
yep.
it's not going to fall to pieces.
Well, they're doing design work, right? So they're doing the engineering piece for the abutments, for the bridge, for the boardwalk is the anticipated
What?
project scope. And so then we have, okay, you guys are going to do this project, and do the design specs. There's liability and all of that. So we'll need to get into some of the nitty gritty, to your point. And that's all stuff that we can talk about in the near future, but we have to, just procure the team and go to the next step. So keep those questions coming and your thoughts around them. Feel free to email anything that comes up after we talk tonight as you're percolating good ideas in your brain.
Well, it's just that, this is like an engineering kind of thing. And so I just want to make sure that that somebody's occasionally looking over their shoulder to make sure that they're doing the right near end or whatever it is. How do you say engineering?
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Tim Davis. I don't know who, if we were to hire an engineering firm, for example, our own self, like we got quotes for, who checks their work? I mean, to your point, like,
well, that's, I guess the other question would be, make sure that they got the right licenses, right?
of course, yes. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yep. No, these are good things to think about.
Mm.
Okay. Okay, so that means we're might need to go into high gear as far as time commitments on getting
Yeah.
things done. So I appreciate the committee's time in advance as things start to pop up. We'll need to be efficient. We may, we've met a lot of times this year. I think I counted, there was maybe, and this doesn't include some of the work session, the part, the site visits that we did, Will and Sati
Right.
kickoff and stuff, but we've met, it was back when I emailed Mark when he was asking about how we were doing on the progress of the project, and I did a count and we're at 16, but technically there's more meetings than that we've done this year. So, we're gonna have to continue a pretty fast clip on meetings. I just want to check in with you guys. How are you feeling about that pace and how we've been going so far, there's going to be a, high energy period that kind of spikes from time to time. So are you guys?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I hope, this next year we'll have a high intensity period of time, but then, once this project is, we'll say it's going to get complete in 2024, because we have high hopes that it will be that way. And then we can, obviously be just a regular committee doing regular annual work. And that will slow down. But I appreciate your commitment, and making the quorum is one of the, really important things to help us keep things forward. So I appreciate it moving forward. Okay. Let me just see, is there anyone, there's an attendee, Sam Stivers is.
Yeah, I have
See that?
taken.
Okay, great. All right, so that is, that's phase 2. So related to that, let's see, we received, the last time we talked, I had already received the Recreation Commission letter of support. Thank you to them. And we now have received the Council on Aging's letter of support. Thank you to them. And we have not yet heard back after a few attempts from Bill Sines of the Southborough Public Access Committee. So my next step, Will, you're on that committee and you've not heard any new meetings coming up?
No,
Okay, and so I'm going to reach out to the entire committee and see if there is a way that they can meet, because I do think having a letter of support from them is key, because some of these sections are accessible, and the boardwalk and the footbridge will be accessible as well. It's part of an accessible trail, so we do want to get their feedback, and it's important. So, or their letter of support if they are open to it. So let's see what we can do. Do you have any tips for us, Will, as we continue to knock on the door? You
No.
know anybody?
no.
Okay. Okay. Got it. And so let's see. So what I need to do, I'm waiting on, I'm assuming there'll be a community preservation committee meeting in December. So what we want to do is revise our application with the updated bridge quote, and this is now new information. We need to figure out how we should approach it. Maybe I'll talk to Tim Davis about his advice on how to approach the application with a kind of an unknown about some funding. I hope that the discussion with Community Engineer Corps will shed some light on that. It might need to be something like, which has happened in the past years, is where if we're not final in December, we get clear in January, but most of it's done. You know what I mean? Most of the application is clear, and we just do a tweak or two to the final information. The only trick with that is the printing of the warrant. So I know they have a close date, so we'll just have to work through the timeline on how that works. Okay, so that's that. Timesheets. Now, Will, did you send me your timesheet?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'm bad.
You got to do it. So I sent out either last meeting or the meeting before. Satya,
Yeah.
thank you for sending yours. If it's any better, I still need to work on mine. So, but yeah, let's, I do need to submit the reimbursement information. So if you could take care of that in the coming week, Will, do you have space
Yes.
in your
Yeah.
schedule?
Yeah.
That would be great. Okay, so that's that. Let's see, I'm trying to think. There was one piece that was really important for me to talk about, and I can't remember. And it keeps coming in and out of my mind. So hopefully it will pop up in a minute. So last time we talked about the budget, Tim Davis. So thank you for your time with all of that. And so Tim Davis, he said the Recreation Commission, who met the day after we met, approved the proposed budget, which now includes mowing per DPW's request. And so yeah, so that will go to the town for vote next year. So we're good there. There is something out there that's really important. We are not prepared tonight to talk about signage for the Mass Trails grant, but we do still need to. I need to connect with Sati with the holiday. It got a little difficult to make time for that. So Sati, I don't know, how does your schedule in December look in general?
So we have the release of the company is by first week of December it should be over. I'm hoping.
What was
And
that?
then I
Busy
for
first
our
week?
software release, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. That's
So that
exciting.
so that if that is over, then yeah, it should be. I mean, by
Yeah. Yeah, my end of year is usually pretty crazy.
yeah, I can help there. Yeah.
But let's see if we can carve out some time because I think yeah, it would be good to get a handle on that. And we also have to revisit Isabella's sign that she created to close out the Choate Fund grant from the other year. So that will be good to do as well. We can focus on that in the next meetings. I did I talked about last meeting, the Walkers of Southborough, Sandy Keese, who organizes that, had invited me to speak at their meeting on Monday, the 20th, just to talk about the project.
The Walkers of Southborough.
I call them the Walkers of Southborough.
Is this the Trailblazers?
It's not the Trailblazers. It's something different. It's like so it's a walking group of Southborough. It's not the Trailblazers. So
Okay.
just another opportunity to get out and be active with a group. And she organizes it. So I attended on the 20th. It was a nice conversation. They're an interesting group. They participate in this Massachusetts Walkers Challenge, which challenges and it's for senior centers to participate across the state. And they would, so from like a period of time to another period, a few months or however many months it is, they walk as many miles as they can. Everybody tracks their mileage. They submit this to the state, and they are they could win gift cards, and whatever senior center has the most mileage, they will win like a certain amount of money for the senior center, right?
Who's in this group? Because I'm okay.
Well, Sandy organizes it, and there's a bunch of people from the community, so it's not just Southborough. I guess I should be clear about that. She's a
Now,
South resident, so I sometimes get that confused.
I think there are at least two Sandys. Are you referring to the tall Sandy or the short Sandy?
Sandy Keese, I think her husband is Hal Keese.
How do you spell Keese?
Kiess.
Okay. All right.
Next, you will ask her further details about
I mean,
probably
job and all.
running out of words. But they had about 21 that had registered, and some of them, so they had also attended, and many of them had they organized a walk with Andy Leahy, DCR's ranger, on the Peninsula Trail. So they did that on the 8th. I wasn't able to attend that day, but so we were able to talk a little bit about the project and some of that. So that was really nice. And I shared remember the 3-ring binders we made for Heritage Day, of all the pictures from the Digital Commonwealth that had to do with the building of the dam and stuff. So we shared that. And it was a good meeting. And so yeah, a lot of good support, and Framingham folks were there and people were very interested in the project. So that was nice to kind of meet community members who enjoy getting out there and walking and enjoying the trails and stuff. The meeting got a little interrupted, so we weren't able to discuss some of what I was hoping to get feedback from them on how they experience trails and things that make their life easier or more, appealing on a trail. But there'll be future opportunities to talk about that stuff. Okay. So what else is there? Website. So this came up a couple times during that meeting. A few people have provided some feedback that they can't find the maps, the trail maps in the way they used to be able to. And I did explain and apologize that we haven't had time after the website reboot to revamp the way the Trails Committee site presents. So that's going to have to be a priority of ours in the coming weeks or months, I'll say. Let's be sensible about our time frame. So that we'll just need to, we haven't really had an opportunity to revise the website in a way that makes sense to how we want to present it to the staff.
I can help there. I mean, if you want,
What was that, Sati?
I can help there.
Yeah, we should have some planning sessions about what we want to see and what needs to be. We need to update some project stuff anyway, but specific to the Peninsula Trail, the map to that, I think we can focus some energy on getting that information at least updated. I haven't really used the interface yet. That will be a learning curve. But after we get through that, it should be pretty straightforward because I know that the template they're using or the back end is supposed to be a little bit easier than it was.
What are they using though? Is it WordPress?
It's Civic Plus is the vendor, and I don't know what software they use to
As far as I can tell, they have a proprietary web creation tool that's kind of cumbersome to use, to tell you the truth. It's not fast.
Their own CMS,
Um,
content management, or whatever they.
well, they do have a content management system on the back end, but I think that's also, I mean, I think that's also their stuff as well. I guess one data point would just be that when it came to taking documents out of the old system and putting them into the new system, it was ungodly expensive, which led me to believe that it was being done totally through the GUI interface.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's as far as I can tell, it's a proprietary tool. The content is proprietary, and I'm not sure if there's any way to export it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever wanted to do that.
Yeah, Will, you yourself are a very qualified software person,
Well,
right? You can help.
I'm not all knowing, but it's just that it seems like that it's, like I said, it's a cumbersome and slow process, and then it's made slower by the fact that if let's say you want to have an image that you want to embed in something, well, that has to be approved, and put into the content management system through an approval process. So that makes it more cumbersome to
But
use.
the ownership will, so like, aren't we owning our part of the website? Our pages. So approval has to come from CAT or Trails.
Well, in the sense that yes, but for instance, if Kat wants to create a new page, that has to be submitted for approval by the to the technology group.
What? Are you sure?
Well, that's what they've done with me. Yes.
Well, I mean, how would I think it might need to be approved. Wouldn't it be approved by Jay as the?
Well, that's the
Yeah,
technology.
on?
That's the technology group I'm referring to. Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the committee.
Yeah, but I mean, Jay's not
Yeah.
exactly sitting there with bated breath waiting for your particular piece of content to come in and get approved.
Yeah, and that's more about a security,
Yeah.
making sure, right, the security, and we get that.
Well, I understand, but I just, well, okay, different subject.
So one other thing I just want to mention under related business website policies and such, the Master Plan Implementation Committee is requesting updates from various committees, and the Trails Committee is up for review. up for like basically providing a progress report. So on the committee's behalf, I also serve on that committee, as does Will. I will be submitting a progress report that just reports basically what we've done all year related to the master plan, and linking it to completing our, goals and objectives and recommendations from the master plan. So much of what we've been doing this project is helps accomplish those goals, in addition to some of the other initiatives that we've taken on. So I will let you know that will be, I'll submit it on Thursday, and then they will submit it in aggregate with the other updates to the planning board, and I will share it with the committee once that's completed. Okay. And then I will also, we got a call from an abutter, the same abutter who had the issues along the open channel of folks walking on the wrong side of the open channel. So I'm going to, when we purchased signs earlier this year to stay on the permitted side, I purchased an extra sign as we had agreed to, and I'll be putting that up probably this weekend to help keep people on the right side of the trail. Okay. Does anyone have anything else that they want to share? No.
We don't really have any trail maintenance to do at this time of year, right?
No, not usually at this time of year.
Okay.
But what we can do related to that, and as we spoke about last time, is start working on our annual maintenance plan and work plan. And we can do that this winter. And then we need to submit that to specific to DCR trails, but send that to them and have that included in the MOU that we have with them, but also use it as our guide for our annual maintenance plan. And then try to do some resource planning, meaning like, we talked about having a volunteer day and having people from the community help. So springtime is a good time for that, but we want to get a jump start so that we can get those trails ready in a working shape for after, I hope, a very snowy, wet winter.
The budget of the Trails Committee is going to go up as of July 1st, right?
If approved at town meeting, yes.
If approved, yes.
The one that includes
Okay.
mowing.
Until July 1st, will there be mowings that are paid for by the DPW?
Yes, and we'll make sure that is the case, because the current fiscal year, the contract and budget is under DPW. So as I understand it, J&J typically starts mowing in June is their first mow. So that would be this fiscal year, 24. Yep. So does that answer?
Yep. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yep. Okay. Anything else? Do we have anything else?
Okay, I'm sending you my list of questions, by the way.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
only have 21. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. If you had 22, I'd be concerned. Okie doke. Okay, does someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
My motion muscles are
No,
weak.
next.
Oh, thank you. Oh, Sati, good. Yes, I was rushing away without another meeting. Goodness me. Okay, so what day is it? Let's see, it's the 28th. I don't know when CPA is going to meet, but we need to meet before they meet. But I don't want to meet next week because I need more time to put stuff together.
What about December 25th? People usually don't schedule meetings for that day.
Yeah. How about, well, let me just double check the website for a second, just in case,
They have 25th open.
because what I'm looking for is see if Community Preservation Committee has an agenda. No. Oh, they met on the 2nd of November, so they could meet in early December. All right, how about I'll say December 7th, that
December
Thursday, because that is next week, but it gives a little bit of time to get some stuff together. I think that might be the same date that CPC meets on. So,
Thursday.
Yeah, the CTVC meeting is from 4 to 5.
who's that? A cable TV, 4 to 5?
Yeah.
Um,
But actually, it's not clear that we're going to be able to meet
okay.
because
Oh, right,
we
you're looking for
don't have
more.
a third person. We need a third person who is a registered voter and has a pulse.
The bar is set high.
The bar is set high. Yes, the bar is set
Uh-huh.
high. And we need someone with technical expertise, like for instance, someone who can't get their Zoom camera working. That would be fine.
It's because I have a new antivirus, and because I know that now I'm qualified. Okay, thank you.
Overqualified,
I
unfortunately.
literally just installed it over the weekend, so in my defense, it's all good.
All right.
No, but so I don't know how this might work. But if, for example, we were to try to meet on Thursday, December 7th at 5:30 instead of 7:30. And the reason being that we could meet and talk about anything we needed to about the community preservation, application, but also the community engineering core group. We would know more by then.
And that would be at 5:30.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for me because I work a lot of hours, but I think if I could transition home earlier, I could make the 5:30 work. How does that work for you, Sati, based on your that's your deliverable week,
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
your launch? How about you? Well, if you had a
That's
meeting
fine.
4 to
Yeah.
5, I know it's a bit of a bunch, but what that will do is that if we meet from 5:30 to 6:30 and say CPC meets at 7, we could do this. We don't have to move our meeting.
Well,
If
CPC is supposedly going to meet 4 to 5, but I don't think we're going to make it. So,
okay.
okay.
So let's shoot for December 7th at 5:30. I will go ahead and see if there's availability. We might need to be a little flexible on that, and I appreciate it. Won't go earlier, might go
Okay.
later, like even 6. So what we would do is if we did have to squeeze both meetings in, then we could just be very focused on what we need to cover and approve for the
Yep.
CPA application.
Yep.
And what that might mean is I might need to do some pre-work and then come to the committee, have you review it, discuss topic and change. There may be small changes we do on the fly based on our feedback, and then go to the meeting mostly prepared, if that's how that works out. Does that sound like a plan?
like a plan, right?
Yeah.
So December
Great
7th,
plan.
5:30.
Wonderful plan.
I'll send out an Outlook for all of us. I'll let Tom and Bella know, and we'll go from there. Okay, and now does someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Take it away, Sati.
Okay. I'll have to change my language then. Okay. So I move the motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. At 8:30.
I second.
Great. And all in favor? Sati,
Yes.
Will,
Yes.
Catherine. Yes. All right. Thank you all. Adjourned at 8:13. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything you're doing and your input. And
Well, Sati, fantastic work, I'll tell you.
yeah, but grabbing that resource.
My goodness.
Really, really good.
Yes, absolutely excellent.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.